I got involved in this project because, well, basically Dave asked me, much like everyone else who's contributed Dev Diaries. Dave asked and I said yes. I mean, that's the short answer. I guess the longer answer is I've been a subscriber to Dave's channel, Infected Flinch, for about 4 years. And I think in one of his videos he mentioned he was going back to uni to study video game design. I'm an aspiring composer, so I got in contact with Dave and said, hey, listen to my SoundCloud, and if you like it and you need some music in the future, let me know. Dave responded. He was very gracious to say he liked it. And then I didn't hear anything for 2 or 3 months. So I thought, fair enough. And then out of the blue, Dave emailed me and said, would I like to be involved in Monitor the video game? And of course I said yes. I think the initial brief was 3 pieces of music because the game is played over 3 days. A main title theme, I think a quit screen, which I've yet to do, and something else. And that has turned into 2.5 months of my life. And by the time the soundtrack is released, I'm guessing it's going to be around 30 odd tracks. The first piece that I wrote for Dave was the main title, which we're not actually using. I may include that as a bonus track on the soundtrack. I kind of did Dave a bit of a disservice, and I've kind of apologized to him since, because the woe of every composer is temp tracks. We hate them. Now a temp track is a piece of temporary music that the video editor or the video game creator uses just as some kind of ambience or set the scene, which they cut to. So he gave me a reference track and said, I kind of like the theme sound like this. And I knew it was the wrong thing to do, because by that time I'd read the script, but I did it anyway, and Dave didn't really like it, and I didn't really like it. That was the first piece of music, but the second piece of music was monumental, really, because it defined the sound of Monitor. I think this was a day one. It's a piece of music called Electrical Interference. And that defined the sound of Monitor. And when Dave heard that, he goes, yep, that's it. And I think the key was, by that point, I got a motif for Monitor, which is just basically 3 notes. And throughout the score, I find different ways of using that motif. But once we had the motif, the score really is writing itself. Well, I could name check a bunch of composers. All right, Bernard Herrmann, who wrote the score for Psycho. He's pretty much one of my heroes. I could name check James Newton Howard, Hans Zimmer to a certain degree. But really, what inspires my music is the script. So Dave sent me the script for Monitor, which I read, and really that's the inspiration for the music. Yeah, I have been in other bands. Well, one band, it was my band. I started it. For about 2 or 3 years, I was in a band called Tragic Venus. I was really into the Cocteau Twins. So my vision for the band was Cocteau Twins, but with synths and drum machines. And yeah, we nearly got signed a couple of times, but it wasn't really meant to be. There's a video online on YouTube of a music video that we made. And I guess really I should be completely embarrassed by it because I've got ridiculous hair. They used to call me Eraserhead because I had sticky uppy hair. It was around the time that goth became a thing. But actually I'm really proud of the video, and I'm really proud of the music I wrote. I wrote it, produced it with the engineer at the time, a guy called Ted, whose studio is the only studio I've ever really recorded in. He lived in Muswell Hill. I found him in the back of Melody Maker, which is around at the time. He had an 8-track recording studio, and the latest piece of kit that he had was the Yamaha DX7, which I was fascinated by. It was the first of the digital synths and was kind of marked the death of analog, really. So yeah, we recorded there. Funny story is, I used the bathroom one day and the toilet was blocked. Thought fair enough. And it was only in a couple of months later that I realized that the next street up was where Dennis Nilsson lived. And of course we know how he blocked his drains. I always wonder whether it was related. Anyway, yeah, Tragic Venus. We trawled, knocked on doors, all the record companies. I guess I could tell you one story about London Records. So we were featured, our demo tape was featured in a monthly music magazine, and the A&R guy had obviously read that. Hadn't heard us, but had read the glowing review of the for the demo tape. It said either this is a really obscure cover or they're ahead of their time, which I took as a really, really big compliment, but was kind of our Achilles heel. That's people wanted something current. Anyway, London A&R guy gets in touch, and so we go into his office, and he's in an open plan office, but his office has glass walls, so you could see past the glass walls into the rest of the office. So he puts the tape on, he's listening to it, and about 4 minutes later he takes the tape out and says, "Yeah, I really like this, but see that guy?" And points to a guy walking past the other side of the glass wall. He goes, "That's my boss, and he likes Bananarama." So yeah, that was the end of that. We definitely weren't Bananarama. So yeah, Tragic Venus, or as one college review called us, Turgid. I thought, whatever. Oh, I have to definitely say the phone guy. Now, obviously, I haven't played the game yet, but he's somebody that interacts with you on the telephone. Brilliantly played by Joy of Sticks. At the time I didn't realise that it was Mark, so I asked Dave, "That don't half sound like Joy of Sticks." He plays it brilliantly. It's his delivery, so yeah, if only because he does such a great performance that I think the phone guy is my favourite character. Oh, maybe the chef too, in the kitchen scenes. But yeah, really enjoyed writing, because when you're on the phone with telephone guy, there's a theme that plays underneath, and that's one of my favorite pieces that I've written so far.